What is up, everyone? Thank you for watching the MegaZone episode 3. This is our usually bi-weekly podcast. Here we are joined with Mega Zero.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
And Caprica.
Hi, guys.
Oh, man. Today we're going to be talking a lot about some cool, fun stuff. And today, I have to say, we're doing turn 13 on Final Fantasy 14, and it sucks ass. So,
Little golf clap for you.
Little golf clap.
Hey, you know how many turns further that is than I got? 13.
All right, so let's start with you, Cap. What games have you been playing lately?
I've actually been going through my Steam library, which is like 200 plus games, and just looking for stuff that I want to replay that's got good replay value.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what the biggest thing is, dude, is the indecisiveness, because like I have so many games and a lot of them are so good, and I've played most of them all through multiple times. So I settled on Torchlight 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love
Cool.
Torchlight 2, and I know a lot of people are going to think this is blasphemous, but I prefer Torchlight 2 over Diablo 3. I won't go into the details why, but yeah, if you played it, most people know why. There's a lot of really neat features that Diablo 3 lacks. Other than that, I actually, for the first time ever, I know the game's like 3 or 4 years old now, but Terra. I picked up Terra, and I've been playing a bit of that. I'm actually rather enjoying it. It's a nice, refreshing, real active, reaction-based combat that I'm really enjoying. And it doesn't feel like I'm playing a free-to-play MMO, because it's basically got all the content in there. You get everything out of it.
Are you playing the new class, that something gunner or whatever?
The gunner, I rolled one, but I'm not playing it as a main. I'm playing a slayer, which
yes.
I really enjoy. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I do have a buddy who's leveling a gunner alongside me, though, and it's devastating, to put it lightly.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a room clearer at any tier. It's absolutely absurd. That's about it, though. The Witcher 3 is obviously on the top of my to-do list. So
yes.
that will be very soon.
Yes,
Hopefully
yes.
That's a Father's Day present, because I'm a cat dad.
There you go. What about you, Mega? What have you been playing?
Not too much, actually. A very little bit of Punch-Out. A little bit of Mario Party 10 and some Smash again. Mainly Final Fantasy 14. So I was going to get back into that, and I did. And,
Good man.
of course, enjoying it. And I wanted to get back into D3, but so many games, so little time, and I'm still playing very little bits of Yoshi's New Island still in the 3DS. Just very slowly taking my time through that game.
Play some Fire Emblem.
That's next on my list. So I can only do like one 3DS game at a time. So
I'm the same way. I can only play one game at a time, even though I have 5 of those. Anything else?
No, that's probably about it for me. Just besides, like I said, a game at a time on 3DS, and the games I'm pretty much playing on Wii U are just nothing really long. You can just kind of jump back and forth, sort of. Nothing really long there, like Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken my life a little bit, but it's good. Lovely game.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been playing 3 games. That's it. Final Fantasy 14. I'm on the final stage of my relic weapon. I literally have 1 dungeon left to do.
Dude,
and I've been
that's a hell of a hurdle.
I've been doing that
Yeah.
1 dungeon since like 11 o'clock this morning, and still have not got my drop.
Oh my god.
So it's coming. As soon as I get that drop and get enough of the soldiery, I'll have my Zodiac. And then I'll just do the final little grind to get it maxed out. And that's it. But then, The Witcher 3. Oh, man, such a great game. Such a great
my
game.
father-in-law got that game.
It's
over the
better on
last week.
PC.
Yeah, definitely. I
Without
can
it.
tell. I can tell,
It's
but
just-
he got an X1, and it looks really good for what it is and everything. There's nothing wrong with it. He loves the game, and of course my son has been playing the game, and he came back apparently, and my son decided to sell a really, really good sword that he found, and the buyback was too much, and he couldn't buy it back. And he'd already upgraded it once, apparently.
Nice.
So
Note to self, everyone: don't let your kids play in cell.
there you go.
Yes, but it's just love the fact that the game is so dynamic and it's so rich in of content. You literally feel like you're a part of that world when you're playing it. You know, you feel like you are Geralt and you're running around and you see these guys and they hate you because you're a mutant, and you know his beard grows. It grows. Like you shave his beard and it grows back out. It's awesome. And
That's some next gen stuff right
yeah,
there.
that's next gen. The beard growing. That's all you need. But the weather, like if there's a thunderstorm out in the horizon, it rolls in, and it's other games. It's like, oh, you're playing the game, all of a sudden, hey, it's thunderstorm. Where did it come from? It was just sunny all of a sudden. No, this game, it rolls in, and there's thunder and more and more wind as the rain starts coming in, and then just all hell breaks loose with a thunderstorm, and the trees start swaying back and forth, and you hear popping sounds from the trees. When you ever walked in the woods and the trees are bending too far and they make that pop sound, like they're stressing.
Right.
Yeah.
The trees are doing that as you're going through the woods, and it's just an awesome feeling. The storyline is just, it's great. I haven't even got really far into the storyline. I've been doing all the side quests, but enough of that.
I'm so excited. I'm so jealous, but at the same time, like it's not going anywhere.
Exactly, it's not going anywhere. It's not multiplayer, so who cares if you buy it 10 months later? It's still the same game.
It's not like I'm falling behind.
But then the other game I've been playing is Xenoblade. At night.
How do you like it?
I'm just grinding out levels because I'm not towards the end. I'm like halfway through the game at 50 something hours, but I've been playing it only at night before I go to bed.
Now this is the 3DS one, of course, right?
Yes, 3DS, not the Wii version,
now,
but the 3DS.
Are you playing it in 3D?
Yes, all the time.
How is it in 3D? Or?
How is it in 3DS?
Yeah.
It's amazing, but you have to have a new 3DS to play it. It requires the new 3DS. It
the one with the extra joystick.
Yeah, but also the processing power and things like that. You can't play it on the older systems because you need that extra joystick. It's a must.
Well, I have an XL with the thumb pad.
Circle pad.
Yeah, Circle Pad Pro. So maybe I can still give it a shot because I've been wanting to get back into my 3DS.
It requires a new 3DS. It's a new 3DS game, so which is
I can throw that right in the garbage.
There you go.
Much.
But well, the one thing that we wanted to talk about today, especially go into depth, is something that all three of us here are, or soon to be, are either married or in a relationship, and how gaming life is as a married man or a boyfriend or even a girlfriend being a part of a gamer, or the girl's the gamer and the guy is not. I've seen that scenario before. And it's not one-sided. It's always it's a team effort when it comes to the relationship. But you've seen those relationships that it's a lot of the boyfriends are the gamers, and then the girlfriend gets upset because he's playing a lot of video games.
Yep.
You've seen the YouTube videos of the girlfriend destroying the Xbox of the guy playing Call of Duty and things like that, which a lot of them are fake, but still, you see those. That's real. That's how it happens. But I know Caprica, his fiance, right?
Yeah. 2 weeks engaged now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yay!
We're very excited.
Your fiance is a gamer.
Yes, she is. And I've been in relationships too with gamers and non-gamers in the past. And I won't say that honestly it's any easier being with somebody that is a gamer as opposed to someone who's not, because it has elements of difficulty in itself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there's different tastes involved as well. For example, my fiance Alexandria, she's a pretty diehard gamer. But she's one of those types of gamers who will find a game that she really, really, really likes, and like will suck the life out of that game. Will like just get 80 hours into it, like, and just keep going. Like me, I bounce around. I mean, I'll never not finish a game, especially if it's a new game. But like, yeah. I'm always playing at least 2 games at any given time. But it's like, okay, for example, right now, like she'll never stop playing Hearthstone, because that's the kind of game that just never really gets old. If you like it, it's always going to be fun, and it evolves every season. It changes a little bit, and the meta decks evolve, and the whole game shifts. Most people don't realize that, but even without expansions and things like that involved, it evolves for her, and she loves that because she has to change and make her own custom decks every month and evolve along with the game. And I think that she likes that because there's a lot of intellect and thought process involved in a game like that too. It's not just hack and slash and drink a potion and keep going. Now me on the other hand, I like all walks of life when it comes to video games. I'll play pretty much anything from a puzzle game to an FPS, MMO, all that. Now, I know you and your wife enjoy Final Fantasy 14 together, and we're not currently playing, but we did play together for a while, and we're hoping to get back into it once Heaven's Word launches. And we'll be really glad to play that together again, because I did go the extra mile, get her a good laptop. And that's the other thing too, is platform has a lot to do with it as well, because let's say one is a console gamer and the other is a PC gamer. Well, guess what? You guys probably aren't going to be playing the same games. Now, Final Fantasy is the one and only exception to that.
It's the only exception.
Literally only exception to that. It is the only cross-platform game that involves PC pretty much ever, other than Final Fantasy 11, which is funny if you think about it. It's a great idea, and I wish more developers would catch on to that.
Final Fantasy 11 was on PS2, PC, and the 360.
And the 360, yeah.
And the 360.
That's like,
Yeah, but that brings a really cool element to it too. For example, when I first started playing Final Fantasy 14, she was watching me play it on PC. She was like, "Oh, this looks really fun. I want to be a cat girl." I'm like, so, and you'd be surprised how hard it was to track down a PS3 copy of that game, a physical copy.
It's difficult.
It was hard, and it's only a $20 game for the base game, and we tracked one down, found the one and only copy because we didn't want to order it online. She was like, "I want to play it now," and got it for her for a PS3 and started playing it. Now the only problem with that is being on a PS3, not having a keyboard, not having a mic. There's limitations, but we were able to play together, and that was the important thing. We could level up together, run dungeons together, and we were sitting in the same room, so who cares? It didn't matter. We didn't. I could say whatever needed to be said to other people via my keyboard, and she could just sit back and plink things with arrows. But yeah, it's also just like it's about learning a person too, learning what they like and kind of accepting what they like too, because the taste difference can be difficult at first too. Like she's never played a Fallout game, and it doesn't really seem like something that would be her thing. She's more into like magic and like dark, not necessarily scary, but kind of like that like gothic sort of feel. Like she loves Skyrim, of course. Really into she loves Don't Starve because it's got a really unique sort of thing going on to it. But then there's certain things that me being a pretty diehard gamer, I can kind of connect, and I say to her, "Well, you love Skyrim, you've never played Fallout. Do you know that they're made by the same company? And they virtually play identically, save for VATS." So now she's kind of piqued an interest in it, and she's kind of started to get interested in Fallout. And that's cool, because now I can share that with her and be like, well, this is why I love this. And it's not just about being gamers, it's about sharing things you love. Like, I can introduce her to things she's never seen or even heard of before, and she can just be as amazed by it as I was the first time I saw it. I mean, it's a great feeling when you can really get someone into something, and then every time you come home from work, you see them sitting there playing it. It's like, yeah, I did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Mega?
Oh, well, for me, my wife isn't so much into all the newer games. She, like all of us, she grew up with, the NES, Super NES, and the Genesis. So, for her, it's a little different. She likes a lot of those older games that we still somewhat have around today. So, I mean, there's nothing like Top Gear from the Super Nintendo that's still around today. That doesn't really exist anymore.
True.
Sonic the Hedgehog still exists as well, but not in the exact same form that we've always had him. Now, however, she did like Sonic Generations to a certain extent. She wasn't so much into the 3D, like you're going that way. She likes the 2D platforming, and she thought it was all right. She said it didn't exactly feel the same, but it was very familiar to her. Other games that she grew up with was like the Mario parties, and like I've been stating, we've been playing Mario Party 10 a lot. Now, it's not exactly the same, but it's very, very similar to what the other Mario parties were growing up in the late 1990s, mid-1990s, and she loves that kind of stuff. Other than that, she's also into trivia games. She loves those trivia games, and we'll sometimes sit around and play like Trivial Pursuit from Xbox 360 or something, and we'll break it out because my parents like the game as well. So it's something that all of us can kind of get into.
Yeah.
Other than that, she's tried to jump into Smash Brothers once, and all it takes is my son to come in, swooping in with his Sonic the Hedgehog or Marth and or something, and
Captain
just
Falcon
obliterates her.
going,
And then he goes,
"Falcon
"Ha, mommy,
punch."
I kicked your
Stupid
butt."
game.
And that's just like, it's over. It's over at that point, And she's like, I'm kind of done. It was over pretty quickly. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too, is like when you're in a relationship with somebody and you have children together, and involving them in the whole family and stuff too, and they'll usually wipe the floor with you because their reflexes are better than ours.
yeah, that's true too.
Well,
But that can also be a downfall as well. Like even for myself,
exactly.
growing up as a kid, my dad, we had an Atari 2600 adapter and the Atari 5200, and we played Joust. And of course, it was a 2-player co-op where you could just hit each other and whatever kind of game. But it was so good that he would end up dying way before I died. And I would just keep going with the power score and keep going. And he finally just gave up.
There
So,
you go.
and that's kind of, it's like you were saying, Caprica, is that, you got to find those right games for your significant other. If it,
Yeah.
Nintendo has been doing a great job for that and the means of all of my family to get to play together. There's not so much of that on either of the other two consoles. And when it comes to PC, unfortunately, most PC games I've noticed are very single-player-ish.
Well, technically, you have to be single player on the PC for the most part.
Right.
I mean, there are games like any of the Lego games you can still play
Street
two
Fighter
players
or something like
or
that.
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
game, but that's actually something I'll get to here in a second. But they're generally like a split screen kind of thing. Now that I will now that I'm coming back to this, she did really enjoy Mortal Kombat, not X, not the newest one, the previous one before that, which is I guess technically 9.
Yes.
It's not labeled as 9.
Because Mortal
Right.
Kombat X is actually Mortal Kombat 10. People just
Right.
call it X because it's actually a numeral 10, kind of like Final Fantasy 10.
Chronologically confused.
Yeah. They had
It's
to do
Mortal
that.
Kombat.
So she enjoyed it because she loves Melina, and Melina was there. And she thought the story was great because growing up as a kid, like I said, she got to play 1, 2, and 3 growing up. She wasn't so much into 3, but she still played it and loved it.
Yeah.
And she basically got to play through those same games and storylines all over again in like new amazing graphics, the blood, the fatalities, and she loved it. She loved it. We got to play it together. We'd swap it off. So that's a great experience in itself because it's pretty rare to find a fighting game that you can really play with someone you really want to play it with.
That's true. Fighting games are very one-sided for the most part. It's like you either love them
Absolutely.
or you hate them.
Yeah.
Right. And I know quite a few people that they like fighting games for whatever story they can get, and just to get, just to play, just to say they played it, and then they're done with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty much that way as of today. It's pretty rare to find a fighting game like that, but there's always been Marvel vs. Capcom, and Street Fighter is alright. It's not my thing, as it was in the retro days, and of course Mortal Kombat really brought me back into it. So,
well,
and how about you, Life?
Well, it's actually really interesting because my wife, Norland, she never was allowed to play video games growing up. So that was one thing that was different. She didn't get to start playing video games until later on, when they allowed them to play. I think it was like PS2 era, when she really got to play games. And so, she told me that she played games on emulators to catch up to what Nintendo games and Super Nintendo and things like that. And she played the Final Fantasy games on the PS2, like Final Fantasy X and X-2. But she loves her Borderlands. She loves Borderlands. Like, there are times that you ever seen the picture of the girl screaming and throwing the controller, and like raging over being shot or blown up?
Yeah.
Well, she will do something like that, and she'll be like, because she couldn't get a one of her oh man, what's Maya's ability, phase lock. She couldn't get her phase lock on the enemy or on Borderlands 2, and or she'll get mad at me because I was always playing the Gunzerker, and I had the double penetrating pistols that shoot out like 20 explosive rounds each pistol. And I would just go Gunzerk and just and kill everything.
Everything before she could.
Yeah, so she was just like, "What am I doing over here?" She will run off by herself just because she wants to kill stuff.
Right.
But it's fun because I enjoy playing games with her. I really, really enjoy it. Final Fantasy, her main's a healer and she loves healing. But you should see how like evil she becomes when she plays a black mage. She'd be like, "Are you gonna pull it? You're gonna pull it? Okay, I'll pull it."
So, in other words, don't tick her off. You might not get the heals.
Yeah.
Well, if she's playing a black mage, you're not getting heals from her because she's blowing up everything with flares.
Right. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
but she can be a little bit more malicious as a healer, though.
Yeah. But no, actually, that's different. When she's a healer, she can't let someone die. It's just something about how she feels. She feels bad. And that's one thing that I love about her, because she wants to keep the people alive, even though they suck ass. If they really suck ass, though, I think she'll let them die. I think she will. But, it's really nice that, she's a gamer. She loves watching me playing games. She loved The Witcher 3, what she's been watching, and she's like, "Wow, that's really cool looking," or she doesn't, unlike other people in a relationship, I've seen this happen time to time. They'll go up to a person, their significant other, and be like, "Why are you playing this? Why are you doing this? Or why don't you do something else with your life rather than sitting down and playing the game," or something like that. Gaming is not only a hobby, not only a way of life for some people, but it's a way to de-stress, for a lot of people. Like, I can tell you right now, gaming de-stresses me, even though it builds up stress when I've, grouped up with a fail group, but it still is better than dealing with real life.
It's an escape. It's why, like, great games like The Witcher are so immersive, because you feel pulled away from the harshness of reality, and you can escape.
I mean, talking about those escapes, I think, and it's my ultimate game for one reason. Chrono Trigger was always my ultimate escape, just because it pumps you up, and then there's like that moment where it's just a very small lull of like, some story that's happening, and it's like you get sucked into a time, and it's like, oh my god, I'm way back in the past. I can technically fix things. And then, but it's like I could fix things, you know, and you get pulled into that world, and man, I wish they'd make another, but I don't think they will.
She loves games. Like you used to see her when she finds her 3DS games. She'd be like, "I want this." I'm like, which one is that? This one. I'm like, okay, I get it. She's cute about it. I love it. You know, it's one thing that I thought I would never ever actually end up finding. What is a gamer woman that actually enjoys gaming, loves being a girly girl, and loves me for what I am, a nerd, a gamer. In fact, that's what she said. That's a requirement. You have to be a nerd. And I was like, okay.
Let's get married.
Yeah, let's get married. So, hell, our dog is named Wi-Fi, okay?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Well, I have a cat named Valera, so.
Well, there you go.
And if I ever have a future dog, it'll either be Rush or Porthos. Yeah, for those of you out there. Bass?
Yeah.
Bass is the character. You mean Trouble?
Oh, there you go, Trouble.
Yeah, Treble's his dog, yeah.
Yeah, and you can be Bass. Yeah, there you go. Oh man, but it comes down to another thing. When you have a good relationship like that you have someone to play, games, you can play couch co-op. But that's a huge difference between online gaming and couch co-op games.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thought on the difference? How do you have more fond memories multiplayer online games or couch co-op?
I'll take a shot. I'll go real quick. I have fond memories of both. Obviously, the couch co-op is what we all started with because that's really all we had. But throughout, let's say, like college years and whatnot, that's what we did. We played like Smash Brothers and Mario Party till 5 a.m. and drank and smashed controllers and punched each other because it was a very violent game.
Donkey Kong Congos.
Oh man, me and Life have some stories.
Well, so do I. I like working at GameStop and having back rooms filled with the damn things because everybody kept trading them in.
Oh god.
But lots of nostalgia for the multiplayer online as well, and a lot of friendships grown that I still maintain. A lot of close friends that I've met, some in other countries, other states and stuff. Some that I've never even met face to face, but I speak to on the daily, and I consider really close friends because that's what they are. But as far as the couch co-op goes, it's kind of behind me. It's not something that's been a part of my life in a very long time, and a lot of that's because being primarily a PC gamer, there's really no room for it, unfortunately. It's not to say that when I get together with friends or something, and one of them's got a Wii U and Smash Brothers set up or something like that, then I'll jump in and I'll play, and it does whisk you away. Especially if it's something you haven't done in a long time. It really brings you back, and it is completely different than playing something online. It's not. I don't even feel it's right to consider them both multiplayer experiences because it's not even comparable.
Yeah.
The feeling of being, lined up on a couch for your buddies and just having a good time, being together in the same room, not having to worry about bandwidth delays and things like that. And,
you have to worry about the off-brand controller. It's like, man, it's not working.
And player one's got the only first-party controller. I got this janky piece of junk. This joystick doesn't work. It's loose. What the hell?
Yeah. Like it uses AA batteries. What the hell, man? But PC gamers have their couch co-op. It's called LAN parties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which are unfortunately a dying thing, sad to say.
Yes,
Cap,
very much.
You and I, we have fond memories of couch
yes,
co-op.
we do.
in like
Yes, we
50-degree weather in the back of Mike's house in that patio.
Oh God.
Playing World of Warcraft,
Yep.
killing Kalthazad solo.
And shout out to the extinct Zero Wing Land Center that we spent many a night.
Yeah. We
Camped out on the couches, just playing WoW, playing
passed
Rock
out
Band.
on the couches.
Passed out a few times.
Voluntarily and involuntarily.
Yes.
But
Falling out of chairs.
Good times.
Very good times. Yeah, there's definitely a nostalgia factor for that in-house multiplayer experience, and I do miss it. I really do. Like, I wish that my PC gaming friends like you and a few others that I have were closer, because I have the extra room now. I can set up extra tables and desks and have LAN party weekends and stuff like that, but there's not enough people that are into it anymore, and it's a pain to have to lug a giant case around, because most people don't have micro ATX anymore. Everybody's got full cases and stuff, and they're heavy.
Yeah, mine, the case alone weighs 45 pounds.
Yeah,
plus that's not without components.
And multiple monitors, and there's keyboards, and there's mice flying around, and it's just a mess.
Once you set everything up, you're like, all right, guys, what do you want to play?
Oh, I gotta go. And then the one guy suggests Counter-Strike, and you politely ask him to get out.
And you go, no, dude, just fuck off. Like, all right, guys, I'm out. I don't want to play Counter-Strike anymore. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Counter-Strike. I actually do enjoy playing Counter-Strike here and there, but I am not these, crazy Counter-Strike guys that can, they twitch their pinky and they snipe you from across the floor.
Yeah, super competitive.
So
right?
I'm not competitive
players.
whatsoever with Counter-Strike, so don't ever ask me to play on your team or anything like that. I'd be like, no.
I'm just gonna say I'm sorry now.
I'll play some Unreal Tournament. That's a little different, because you could just hit the flat cannon and just be like. But that's always fun, just the flat cannon on that. But it's one of those things that couch co-op is not dead, but it's dwindled drastically. Here's actually a thing that couch co-op, a type of couch co-op I play and will be playing shortly. Norland, myself, and our friend Dave, we play Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel at his house most of the time. We take our Xbox 360s, that's what we were playing on, but it's going to be Xbox One soon, and we play at his house, and we play the game together on 3 different TVs.
Oh, so you landed up through
Nice.
the 360s. Yeah.
But it's still the experience is still like there. We get to play. I play on. He lets me play on his 65-inch TV. He plays it on his 47, and Norland plays it on a monitor that she actually enjoys more than a big giant screen. But it's just an experience that we can be like, oh, no, don't go there. Or my favorite is when Norland pressed the button of this one bandit camp that triggered an alarm, and they all came back out with like 3 Goliaths. They're like, oh.
Strip the flesh, salt the wound.
Have you seen the picture that I linked on Facebook about the 2 Vault Hunters sitting back watching the 2 Goliaths battle, and then the one turns into an ultimate, and they all run.
They all take off running. That's exactly what happens.
That's exactly what happes in the game. You see the ultimate, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh man.
You got guns? You got a lot of guns? No. But but that's another thing. These competitions and things like that brings me to back in the 90s with the Nintendo World Championships, which they're bringing back. That's the awesome thing. According to Reggie, 2015, the day before E3, they're having the Nintendo World Championship 2015 in the same place where E3 is being attended. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, what's basically going to happen here is we're going to Best Buy first. Actually, I'm doing that this coming weekend. I'm going to go to Best Buy and give it a go. See if I got what it takes.
You got
The
qualified?
game. I'm gonna try to qualify. The qualifications are playing NES Remix, the ultimate version on
Fuck
the
it, we're
3DS. And I mean, I've played quite a few of NES Remix. It's a lot of fun. I don't know how well I'm going to do, but I have no idea even which set we're going to do. Where we're going to do the remix sections, or we're going to do the other sections, which are supposed to be really hard. Which is like the actual main games themselves, or and of course remix, for those of you who don't know, is like Samus playing in the Super Mario Brothers game, or something crazy like that, or Link is in it, and they tell you to take your sword and jump on top of the Goombas with the sword, or some weird stuff.
Well, this is where I have the qualifications will take place. It's not everywhere. Just to let everyone know, it is not everywhere. Mega is just lucky enough that he's probably going to be in Miami, where one of them is going to be is at 10760 Northwest 17th Street, Miami, Florida. Their Best Buy at 10 a.m. local time to 7 p.m. on May 30th, and that's the qualification day. You know, if you beat it and you become a qualify. Yeah, there we go. You go to the finals in L.A., which
And it's all paid for by Nintendo, by the way.
Yes.
It would be paying for your room, your food, everything there, and having you drove to E3 apparently as well, and that's where you'll do your tournament.
Yeah, you're going to be doing Championship Mode of Ultimate NES Remix on the 3DS will be featured. The challenges will be scored based in Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Dr. Mario. Each location will spend its top score. Will send its top score. This person can't type on this article. He's like, nah. He put Lost Angeles instead of LA. Instead of Los Angeles. So yeah, that's gonna be the day before E3, I believe.
No,
but that's
let
awesome.
me ask you this: can we expect Nintendo to be debuting the new Power Glove?
They did. It's called the Wii.
One Power Glove to rule them all.
Well, is there gonna be like a new movie coming out to coincide with this one, like the last one?
We're like a Power Glove and we go.
Yeah, there is.
There is. Bad.
Are you serious?
It's so good.
It's Avengers 2.
Oh,
Thanos with the Power Glove.
the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's the Infinity Gauntlet. All right.
Oh,
all
no,
right. Just don't go there. Don't go there.
Whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Very scary. Don't want to.
Very scary. You don't want Thanos to grab the Infinity Gauntlet because he fucks shit up.
It will end you.
End you.
Everything, actually.
Yes. But, which, I'm sorry, let's go off a tangent real quick. How the hell did he get the Infinity Gauntlet in the first place? Because, if you remember, if you watch the first Thor movie, in the vault, you can see the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
It's there.
With the Tesseract. And
yeah. How did he end up going, I have the glove?
I mean, I'm
Spoilers,
sure,
I'm sorry, people.
I'm sure Loki was involved.
Probably.
Because he had access to all that stuff. But like, it's just like all of a sudden he's like, oh, I have it, and I just need the rest of the stones, and we're good to go. It's like there was There was no real backstory to him, or at least like explain like how he came into
getting it.
Yeah.
But also, what's another funny story is if you look at that clip, that Easter egg, the Infinity Gauntlet has the Infinity Stones in the gauntlet already.
Did it really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
I'll have to go back and watch that because I don't
Exactly.
remember that.
Like,
It's been so long.
Why is it? Brain hurt.
Well, because when they showed him with it in the last movie, it didn't have anything in it. It was
Exactly.
empty.
That's my
It had
point.
no stones in it.
Maybe he has his own Infinity Gauntlet that fits his hand.
Custom Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. Pimp my hand.
Aww.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. that was pretty bad.
I know. I'm sorry. I went
You
there.
should be.
You pulled a mega joke.
I didn't pull a mega joke. I pulled a dad joke. Okay, that was a dad joke.
Pimp.
But yeah, you know that. But that's another thing. Like the World Championships, they for Nintendo, that whole championship was actually a part of a movie, which was The Wizard.
And it was huge back then too.
Such an
it was
amazing movie. Even though if you hate that movie, you're not a gamer.
Right. I agree. It's a stupid movie, but if you're a gamer, you love it. Especially because they showed the damn Power Glove before it came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" And it was garbage.
It's such a bad line. It's so bad. It's so
Honestly,
good.
I've never seen The Wizard.
You never seen The Wizard?
Never
And
seen
you
The
call
Wizard.
yourself a Nintendo fan?
Seriously, dude.
I never seen the movie growing up. I didn't know it
You
existed
have to
until
watch
later
The
Well,
in
Wizard,
life.
make
dude.
it the next movie you watch.
Yes, please.
I'm sure
Do
it's on
yourself-
Netflix. I'm
no,
sure.
unfortunately, it's not.
It's not. What?
It was on Netflix,
Oh.
but they pulled
It'll-
it because, you know, the whole thing. But you need to
Oh.
still watch it. You need to find a copy somewhere, watch the movie, do yourself a favor. After you're done doing yourself a favor, then you could be like, dude, I want a Power Glove now. I know it sucks ass. I want one. Because I want to be like, and, you know, play the racing game.
You know, as big as Mega is a Nintendo fanboy, I think I could picture you walking around the streets with that thing on more so than him.
I used to own the Power Glove. Thank you very much.
Of course you did.
And my dad got it for me at a garage sale, dirt cheap. Got me that Ninja Gaiden 2, and the Great Adventures of Bayou Billy.
Oh my god, I remember that game. The game was horrible.
It was horrible and hard. Okay,
Yeah.
push the buttons, dude. You had to use your fingers if you use the Power Glove for the game. You had to like move your index finger to kick, and use both of your both your index and middle finger to punch, and then you have to fling your hand around. It makes the Wii look like a handicap game.
It's the thing was so imprecise and unresponsive. It
just didn't
by
work.
comparison, the Wiimote is glorious, and I hate the Wiimote. So that's saying something.
This is what they knew they were going to do a motion device. They knew this in the 80s when they made the Power Glove. People don't understand. A lot of people thought the Wii was the first motion capture. No, the Power Glove was the first. It was their, I wonder if this thing will work. Nope, it sucked ass. Screw it. You know, whoever helped them, like Philips or something, like Magnavox, I think is the one that helped them out.
And it wasn't even a lack of tech either, because it's the same infrared-based technology that they use for the Wiimote to detect the movement and the light.
Actually, it was not. It wasn't. It used radio. It was like little speakers that.
Is that what it was? 'Cause
Yes.
didn't it?
It had 3 speakers, like sonar sensors on the top and on the bottom right-hand corner.
No wonder it didn't work.
And then, if you look at the Power Glove, if you ever owned one, if you looked at the front, it has like a grill-looking shape on the 2 little circles on the left and right of that black block on top of the Power Glove, and the wires go into the control pad.
I have your answer. It was made by Mattel here in the United States.
Oh, no wonder it sucked.
Junky plastic
Made
piece of
by
crap.
Mattel.
But hey, you know.
Well, they brought it home in the end, so.
Yes, you know, it was still awesome. It ended up breaking, my Power Glove. It ended up breaking. So as a kid, I just wore the Power Glove outside and played like I was a Terminator.
I knew it, didn't I? I knew it.
Just ran around and thought I was Samus or something like that.
Did you bring the
No,
zapper
come on,
with you too?
You gotta
Yes,
course.
I brought
You gotta
the
be,
zapper. Oh, and
Link.
even better, I actually had my friend Shaggy. Oh, we call him Shaggy.
You
but
had a
it's-
friend named Oh my
Yeah,
god.
his name is Shaggy, but that's his nickname, but his real name was Michael. And him and I were running around. I had my dad's old Magnavox camcorder that used cassette tapes, and I ran around like Duke Nukem with the gun in front of the camera and was playing, like that with the power glove on, with the super scope and all sorts of weird. Dude,
So you were first person before first person was first person.
I was a hipster back then. Okay.
Oh, you set the standard.
I set the standard, bitch. But no, it was fun. It was hilarious back. And I lived with a huge 5-acre backyard, so there was tons of space to goof around and not get hurt. Yet I still got hurt. But it was just a fun time, But that's nostalgia, for the people like us that lived at the time that the World Championships were out, either experienced them or watched them on ESPN like a week later after it happened. Because that was the way it worked.
It's been 25 years since the last one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who don't even know anything about the World Championships. And let's not forget the most nostalgic thing out of what came of the World Championships, which is the NES cartridge.
Oh yeah,
that's worth like 15 to like.
Was
it now $30,000?
It was like $80,000 for the gold one, something like that.
Yeah, because the gold one was the giveaway. They had like
Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
The gray one was the one that they actually used at
the
championship.
I actually got to see one. South by Southwest. Man. I took a picture of it and I was like, I want it, but it was behind glass and everything like that, and I couldn't fit my hand through it because I have too fat of a hand.
Sausage fingers got stuck.
They had a Nintendo museum there with all sorts of stuff.
So I have to say I'm a little let down with the Nintendo World Championships so far. I was expecting them to make a specific game for this, qualifying and tournament. Specifically for it, and we're just using Nintendo's Ultimate Remix, and it's
they're just using a remix, okay.
Yeah, it can be used that way, and it saves them money, but still grabs the attention.
It's a free advertisement too.
Yeah, absolutely. Free advertisement by walking in. It's great for Best Buy. It's great for Nintendo, regardless of the situation. I was just looking forward to something more along the lines of like, when you're there, you get to see like, hey, this is what we're going to be using in the tournaments. And then, hey, when the tournament's over, it's going to be like the gray cartridge all over again. Here it is, And only certain people, luckily enough, maybe the one winner gets like this golden case that they're never going to want to touch in their lifetime.
Yeah.
No fingerprints, no nothing. Just, oh my god.
They're probably going to have a golden amiibo. Oh, wait, they already have it.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, like we mentioned, with the Wizard it was a video game movie, but that was a good video game movie, but
it wasn't based on
video games,
right?
But it was a video game movie.
It was. Right. It counts.
But that's the thing. There's differences between a movie about video games versus a movie that is based off of a video game. Say for instance, Street Fighter.
I remember watching that one.
Blood Rain. The Tomb Raider actually was good.
Tomb Raider was good.
Tomb Raider was good. Decent. Yes.
Prince of Persia was decent.
That was okay.
Resident
Evil. Those are really good, but they're nowhere near what the game was.
Off track, right?
Completely off track. It's the base off the game, but it's not
good. Well-made movies.
Yeah.
Just
now
not...
they have. I do want to mention though, with Resident Evil specifically, they did certain scenes that were in the games that were thrown into those movies. And I thought that was awesome.
That was cool.
Since they took it on their own.
And that's like, there were some good things that they changed too, that made it for a better movie. That's the thing. Not all video games are going to translate to a good movie.
No, they're not. Like House of the Dead.
Oh,
or
no.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
You had to bring that one up. Really pretty to look at, but that was about it.
Now,
it's a great movie to play in the background and mute, and you just be like, "Oh, cool! Awesome graphics."
Look at the glowy orange tentacles. Cool.
Ooh, it's a cutscene. Cool.
Now, I have to say that that movie is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people like myself walked into thinking this was going to be like a Final Fantasy game put into a movie. and he walked out kind of going, "What did I really watch?"
Yeah.
And it took a couple times for me to watch that movie after I finally owned it to go, "This isn't a bad movie. It's its own," which is just exactly like Final Fantasy is. But then I realized too, when I was in the theaters, there was one scene that had like they looked down and there was a green blob on the floor, and it was very reminiscent of Final Fantasy VII.
Mm.
So if you don't remember that scene, go back and look towards the end of the movie.
No.
That was
I
pretty
have to
cool.
watch that movie again just for
Make you watch it.
No. I'll just YouTube it.
All right,
But
so then
the
there's
most
Mortal Kombat.
Okay, there's only one Mortal Kombat movie of that. Okay, so
I recall there being two Mortal
Nope, there's
Kombat
only one.
movies.
there's only one. Technically, there's
Annihilation.
3, so there was only one. But the most recent video game movie is Need for Speed.
I did not
Yeah,
see
that
it.
one didn't do so well, did it?
It was interesting. It wasn't the greatest thing I watched, but I was like, okay, I can see how they can do the mediocre storyline that you see in Need for Speed games. You have to go fast. You have to be faster than that guy. You have to avenge that person's death by going faster than that guy and beating him in a race. But not getting caught by a cop. Yeah. So it was an okay movie. I liked it because I liked the cars. I didn't care about anything else in
Yeah,
the movie.
that's why you watch a movie like
Yeah.
that. Cool
You know,
cars.
They tried to be a Fast and the Furious movie, which you can't be
Right.
a Fast and Furious movie because a Fast and Furious movie is its own movie. Okay,
Right.
It's its own genre.
And at that point, we're already working in the 7th one.
Yeah.
6 movies already in. They've got the genre. They own it. You're a bit too late.
Yeah, you're not going to dethrone that. Not at that.
No.
Oh, the worst video game movie I think is Double Dragon.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just gonna say
That
that.
was just
Just look at the cover and laugh.
Wait, hold it.
But
I mean,
okay, Mega, you and I watched this for the first time at your house, Grandma's Boy.
that was an alright movie.
That was a good movie.
Yeah,
though.
but it wasn't based off of a video game, but
Right.
it was a video
Wasn't-
game movie because they were game testers.
Now I
Right.
got one for you. Now I'd be surprised if either one of you have seen this one. The Last Starfighter.
Yes.
That's actually one of my
Yes.
favorite movies
I
of all
think
time.
I've seen that movie. It might have been a while for me now.
Not based on any video game. I mean, it's its own. It's based on its own video game. That's not actually a video game. It's like
Yeah.
a video game that they created for the movie.
Yeah.
But cheesy as hell, but a super fun movie to watch.
You know, I have to say, the Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo and the other guy was not a great movie at all, but it had a place in my heart. 'Cause
It
But
does.
we were
I
pretty
like
young
watching
when it
it.
came
Exactly. We were
It's-
really young when it came out. I didn't understand it because it was so different, but I saw the mushrooms. I was like, "Oh, he's going to get big." No, he's not.
No,
or I see
he's
a
not gonna get big.
bomb and I'm like, "That thing is small compared to the game. It's so tiny." You know,
I remember
Why
it was
is
like a little
Bowser a
grenade.
human?
yeah. And then Yoshi. Come on, really?
That was Yoshi was
Really?
the worst part about that whole movie.
Come
without
on.
doubt.
And Princess Peach. No.
Wait. Toadstool. That's
Oh, yes.
a name that should ring
That's
a
what
bell
actually
to
I
us.
called her. It was Princess Toadstool.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't say Princess Peach in that movie. It was Toadstool.
Robotnik, Eggman. Sorry, had to be done.
Yeah. But another movie that was actually really interesting that came out was In the Name of the King. It was a Dungeon Siege game.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I never
Yeah,
saw
that
it.
had Jason Statham, the guy from the Expendables.
Statham.
Statham.
Now that's interesting to me though, because every time you think of him, you think guns and cars,
Yeah. I don't think of
swords and spells.
I think of him as kicking stuff. You know, because in every movie he kicks someone. He does, or he
Does
throws
do
a
a lot.
knife at someone. Expendables, he was a knife thrower. So
He was a knife guy. That's right.
Yeah, he was a knife guy that used guns. But in this game, he was a sword guy that used even bigger swords
Right.
instead of guns.
So, here's another movie which is based off of, well, it's got games in it. It's not specifically from a game would be
I know where
Wreck-It
it's going.
Ralph.
Yes, I
Wreck-It
love
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. I
Yes.
love
And
that
that
movie.
movie is so good.
Yes, that
And
was-
the way that they did it was
Great movie.
I mean, you actually have to pause the movie when Sonic is, and I believe Sonic is on the billboard, and you will see so many video game characters in that section.
Yeah.
You actually find the Joust ostrich in there.
Every time I watch
He's
the
in
movie,
there.
I spot something different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters in that.
It's like
movie.
watching Star Wars, the second time. You're like, I didn't notice that toilet floating through the space.
Like, I'm also interested in seeing Pixel. I know very many people that for some
Nope.
reason
Oh,
aren't interested in seeing it.
it looks neat. It looks neat. I don't think it'll be
It's
good.
a different
but it
spin.
looks-
It's
Yeah,
a different spin. Like you would
it's-
expect Pac-Man to be a good guy, and like they're portraying him to
It's-
be a bad guy because that's what the aliens portray.
It does seem interesting, but it just no. I watched the previews in the theater. I'm just thinking to myself, like,
it'll be a red box.
it's gonna be either Redbox or just wait till Netflix. It'll come out to
Yeah.
Netflix.
Oh, yeah, it'll be on Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah. It'll
No.
be a bit. But Redbox, I'll have it first, and you just rent it from there. I mean, $2. Come on, rent it
Yeah.
and be done.
Unless it's the interview, and that was out on Netflix the next day.
Yeah. Look, man,
Now-
I am just looking for Pac-Man to bust through a wall. Okay. Kind of like, or like, well, he busts through apparently like a building or something. But could you
Yeah.
imagine like, the Kool-Aid Man was a video game at one point. If he doesn't bust through a wall, if he doesn't bust through a wall, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, that was like
You know what I mean?
we're sitting in a theater for Age of Ultron. We're watching the previews, and that was one of the previews. And the intro for the trailer is so dark, and it's like leading up to this epic thing, and it shows Carl Sagan's golden disc that they sent on the spacecraft that recently left
Right.
the solar system, which is like really cool. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like some wicked evil alien species that discovers them, and they're gonna come and blow Earth all to hell. And here comes Pac-Man. I'm like, what the hell kind of transition? It totally threw me off. But at the same time, I was excited, in like a kid way. You know,
Yeah.
like the child in me was like, oh, cool. And then I saw Adam Sandler, and I was like, oh no.
Yes, that's
Aw.
exactly my thought. I was like,
See-
oh wow, this is so going to be awesome. And then I was like, hello. I'm like, God damn. And I'm
See,
like,
Adam Sandler's got me.
no.
I like his movies. It's unfortunate. There's a couple I don't like, but
Yes,
Don't
but
get me wrong.
There's a small Lannister in the movie too, though. So it'll
Yeah,
be-
okay.
Yep.
There is a Lannister. There's a Dinklage, okay? There's a ghost floating around. So if I'm gonna watch that movie, it's probably gonna be for him because he is
Yeah.
actually a really cool actor.
He's
You
the
know,
best.
He has such a wide range of things to do. But it's a video game movie. It's gonna be awesome.
It'll be fun,
yeah.
But
It'll be one
I'm
shot.
gonna wait until it's on Netflix to watch it because I
not
kind of
enough-
don't want to watch it.
I don't want to pay $12.50 to see it.
That's that's a whole new story.
movie theaters. That's a different.
Now, let's not forget, quite possibly the one that started it all, Tron.
Mm.
Tron at its heart is a video game movie.
The
Yes.
the music.
Oh, so good. Every now and then, I'll just turn on those soundtracks and just
Now,
throw a video
I
game.
did not watch Tron until the second movie came out.
And that's okay. A lot
of people haven't done that. My wife never watched the first Tron. She watched the second Tron, and then she wanted to know how the first one was. I showed it to her, and after 10 minutes, she didn't want to watch it.
Now,
It's very hard to watch. To be
It
honest.
is. It's
And
very.
I liked Tron 2.0. A lot of people talk a lot of trash about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed that film.
I
It
did too.
slowed down a little bit at about like the 3/4 mark. It was kind of but like those early scenes were great, and the music was great, and it just
Right.
it was a good movie. It just, I feel like the diehard 1982 Tron fans were like, oh, this is lame.
You're
this
never
is-
gonna please anyone. That's in
Exactly.
gaming. That's in movies. That's in music.
Yeah.
You're never gonna
Right.
please everyone. The moment you
Absolutely.
please everyone, you're the Antichrist. Okay.
Now, I do want to be fair. Like, the first movie bored me to a certain extent, its own extent, and I did fall asleep. But I did rewind it and watch what I missed, and it is a good movie for everything that it is. It totally would have. If I had watched it when the movie was out, it would have blown my mind. Would have blown my mind. I'd loved
I think
it.
so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's totally fair. I think it's unfair to look at it today and go, "This movie sucks." No, it doesn't suck. Your perception of it probably sucks with it. I think.
Yes, you're right. It's a perception thing, and it's a lot
Right.
of it's due to not just younger audiences, but our eyes are trained to all these digital and CGI and stuff. Like,
Right.
but
Yep.
for people like us who we grew up watching full sets and doing things for real, physically in a room and creating something instead of like CGI is to me is supposed to be a last resort. It's something that you should only use when you have to, but our vision of that is as far as the
Is much different today.
it's so different because there's movies based on it now, like Wreck-It Ralph. It's all CGI, but it was awesome. Now that I'm okay with because it's meant to be an animated film. When you start mixing real physical stuff with CGI, then the human eye can see the difference, and it takes something away from it.
It's
Now,
getting better and better, but still, you can tell the difference between CGI and real life.
yeah, it's
Yes.
it's always going to get better, but I think it's going to be a while until we can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's going to be. Like in games, it's going to be the complete opposite. Games are going to soon get to that point that it's going to look like real life, and it's going to get to that danger point that your mind's not going to be able to distinguish between real life and video games. Of video game graphics. They have to add things like a HUD or something like that to keep you from freaking out psychologically when you cut someone in half, or you send them, going to, over the third or second base or something like that, when you cut their entire torso in half. Like in The Witcher, you get so immersed into it, and then I'm like, holy shit, did I just cut that guy completely in half with the sword? And, they made it look non-realistic to throw you out of that, I think. Because it just... That could be a mindfuck, to tell you the truth.
And it is to a lot of people. Like, to certain people, they can't handle it. Like, I mean, Mortal Kombat X, for example, some of those fatalities and the... the what do you call it, the bone breakers and crap like that, like it's not even that it looks real, it's just that the detail of what's actually happening is so thorough that you can get grossed out by something that is not real, and you just see it and you're like, that's pretty bad. Like you're not going to get that way when you play like a pixelated game. You're not. It doesn't matter how violent it is. It's all one color, and like you just see like pixelated blood split. Now it's like, oh, that's cute, that's funny. But then you see something like Mortal Kombat. It's obvious that they wanted it to look as disgusting and off-putting as possible. And I think not just with older people, but with like just sensitive audiences in general can be really put off by something like that. They did a thing with that where they showed all the Mortal Kombat X fatalities and brutalities to like a couple old people, and it's hysterical. And I imagine that there's a lot of people that are affected like that, and it's nothing new. I mean, I remember the first time I played Dante's Inferno. That game made me question my life. I mean, if the if the poem doesn't do it to you, that game sure as hell will. And it doesn't stop there. It just keeps... Somebody is always going to look to go a little bit further, another step further, and go for that psych out and that shock factor. It's always going to be there.
Well, let's leave it on that note, because that could be something else we could talk about on the next podcast. Like that one game that you're going around and shooting people. What was it? Postal? Or I don't
Postal.
know. Hatred. Hatred. That game. But that's a completely different subject that we could talk about, because that took it too far, I personally think. But anyway,
I do too.
But I think this is a great episode. I enjoy everyone that's been watching.
Thank you, everybody.
And it's just going to get better. I love doing this. I do this for you guys, to have fun, enjoy what we, our day-to-day life, and I think that we have some cool things to talk about. And if you guys want to talk about anything else or have any suggestions to talk, leave a comment on the YouTube channel, or on our Twitter at the MegaZone podcast at the MegaZone podcast on Twitter, or our Twitter accounts, the Life Filter, or the Mega Zero, or what's yours, Caprica?
It's the Caprica.
The Caprica. There you go. So you just go ahead and leave us any information that you want us to go over and look at, and we'll feel free to add it. So thank you again. This has been awesome. I had a lot of fun. What about you guys? Did you have fun?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always have a good time. And I just will say I apologize for missing the last one, and it's glad to be back. I look forward to the next one, and I'll see you next time.
I have to go get the cookies now.
Put that cookie down.
Dum, 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 dum.
All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you guys hopefully in 2 weeks, as long as everything works out. Peace.
Later.
See ya.